Hey y'all, so 2.1e lesson, this is the last lesson of section 1 in module 2. Notice the directions, say circle the operation, draw a chip tile model for each, and then state the sum or difference. Okay, now I've got some that are a subtraction and some that are an addition operation. Very important to understand which ones are what so you know what you're doing as far as a chip model goes. Okay, so they all kind of base off of how you speak them. So this one is, I've got 5 positive tiles and I take away 3 positive tiles. So if I have 5 positive tiles and I take 3 away, I have an answer of 2. Again, 5 minus 3 is a first grade question. We all know that answer is 2. Okay, but can you do the chip model? You will be tested on that, okay? All right, this guy, I've got 5 positive tiles, 3, 4, 5, and I'm adding in 3 negative tiles. Okay, well, when we add in, we need to take out the 0 pairs once that's all completed. Okay, so I've got 2 as a final answer. All right, I'm kind of noticing, oh, same answer here. All right, this guy, the meaning of this is I have 2 positive chips and I'm taking away 6 positive chips. So there are my 2 positive chips. I don't have 6 to take away. I only have 2. Hopefully by now you understand that we would need to add how many 0 pairs? 4 to be able to complete this problem. Could you add more than 4? Absolutely. Is there a need for more than 4? No way, Jose. All right, so I've got 2 positives and I'm taking away 6 positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer left on this mat here, this paper here, I've got 4 negatives. All right, this guy, 2 plus negative 6. So I've got 2 positives and I'm adding in 6 negatives. Okay, when you add in, you then have to see, combine like terms, combine the 0 pairs, and then see what's left over. And what's left over is that 4 negative. All right, number 5, I've got 6 negatives and I'm taking away 2 positives. Well, here are my 6 negatives. Do I have 2 positives to take away? No, I do not. Okay, what would I need to do to be able to carry out the rest of that problem? I would need to add in how many 0 pairs? Hopefully you're thinking 2. Okay, do you see that I can now take away 2 positives? I still have 6 negatives. This is nothing right here. That's nothing. But it's helping me set up so that I can take away 2 positives. Boom, boom. Do you see that my answer is negative 8? All right, number 6. I've got my 6 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 negatives, and I'm adding in 2 more negatives. Please don't think you're going to cross out this and this. These are not 0 pairs. Okay, you have to count all these up to see what your answer is, and I've got 8 negatives. All right, question number 7. How do number 1 and 2 compare, above compare? What is similar? What is different? Okay, so number 1 and 2, I'm noticing the answer's the same, but I'm noticing that the operation, subtraction and addition, is different. Okay, so the answers are the same. Let me scooch that up. Let me get this out. Let me scooch that up. The answers are the same. In number 1, you are subtracting. You are subtracting 2 positive numbers. In number 2, in number 2, you are adding a positive and a negative number. In number 2, you are adding a positive and negative number. Okay, number 8, how do number 5 and number 6 compare? What is similar? What is different? Okay, so the answer for both, sorry guys, the answer for both is the same. In number 5, you are starting with a negative and subtracting a positive. You are starting with a negative and subtracting a positive. In number 6, you are adding 2 negative numbers. Okie dokie. Now the next part of this lesson gets a little tricky. Okay, it says to circle the operation you're performing, write an equivalent addition expression for each subtraction expression, and then simplify. All right, so from what we just did, we got the same answers, but one was a subtraction problem and one was an addition problem. Okay, so it's really important. Let's look at this example. This minus 5 changed to a plus a negative 5. Okay, so we're going to take this and change it to a plus negative 6. Okay, now whatever problem you do, just like up here, either one of these, the answer is negative 2. I bet most of you prefer seeing this expression and not this expression. But it's very important to understand they both have an answer of negative 2. Just like this one. Both of them have an answer of negative 8. Okay, this minus sign is going to turn to a plus sign, and you're going to change the sign of the positive 14 to a negative 14. Okay, doesn't matter which one you're looking at. Okay, your answer should be negative 5. All right, this guy, this minus sign changes to a plus sign, and the negative changes to the opposite sign. So 7 plus a positive 4. All right, you probably prefer this than this, but guess what? They are equivalent answers. They both get 11. They just look different and have different meanings. Okay, go ahead and pause and try 10 through 16 on your own and then check. Okay, that's a minus sign. So we've got negative 10 plus the negative 7 changes to a positive 7. No matter which one you look at, should be negative 3. Please notice I've never, ever changed the sign of the first number. This sign has never changed. It's all about what comes after the minus sign. Okay, after the minus sign is a positive, so we're going to make it a negative. After the minus sign is a positive, we're going to make it a negative. After the minus sign is a negative, we're going to make it a positive. After the minus sign is a negative, we're going to make it a positive. Okay, now the answers to these are the same. 12 minus 8 is 4. 12 plus a negative 8 is 4. This one's tricky. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. it's much clearer for kids to see it this way. -5 plus -3 is -8. Okay, this guy is going to be -1 plus 15 is 14. And then 6 plus 8 is much clearer than 6 minus a -8. You get 14. Okay? All right. You will absolutely need to be able to write a subtraction expression into an addition expression, just like this table. Just like this table. Okay? All right, next question. It says, write each example below as two equivalent expressions, one involving addition and the other involving subtraction. Here's an example. -3 equals 4 minus 7, which equals 4 plus -7. Or, here's another one, 5 equals 8 minus 3, or 8 plus -3. All right, so to get a 4 as an answer, I'm going to do 6 plus -2, which is the same as 6 minus 2. Okay, you should be able to go from this to this, and from this to this. Okay, now for a -2 answer, I'll come up with 2 minus 4. 2 minus 4 is -2. Isn't that the same as 2 plus -4? You may understand one more than the other. It's important to know how to go back and forth so you can arrange it to whatever makes more sense for your brain. Okay, -4. I'll go 2 minus 6. That's the same as 2 plus -6. Okay, now this guy, write each term as two equivalent expressions involving subtraction. Okay, so to get a -4, -7 minus -3 and 3 minus 7. Those both would get you a -4. Notice that you've got 3's and 7's going on in both. Okay, so for -2, let's do -5 minus -3. And 3 minus 5. Both of those get you -2. Okay, for -4, here's one example. -7 minus -3. Or 3 minus 7. Those both get you -4. Now for -1, let's do -2 minus -1. Or 1 minus 2. Both of these get -1 as an answer. All right, how will you determine if this symbol means subtract or if it's a negative sign? Okay, so a couple things to talk about. Usually, if it is a negative sign with a subtraction sign, you'll have parentheses like this. Okay, usually if it's an addition sign with a negative number, you'll have parentheses. Do you have to? No, but it's helpful for the human eye to see it better that way. Okay, so usually the operation subtraction is separated from the negative value afterwards by parentheses. Usually the operation subtraction is separated from the negative value afterwards by parentheses. All right, it's good enough. Okay, all right, let's go ahead. We're on the last couple of problems, a couple of word problems. 2 word problems to finish her up. All right, for number 24 and number 25, draw a chip tile model or a number line model. I prefer chips because I don't want to make a number line. Write an expression and write your answer in context with a sentence. Lewis picks up a football that has been fumbled by his quarterback 12 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He runs 15 yards before he's tackled. Where is he relative to the line of scrimmage? All right, so 12 yards behind. That's a negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, then he runs 15 yards. You always run in football in a positive direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I tried to line up my positives right under my negatives so I can see I have 12 zero pairs, leaving me with 3 positive. So my expression would be negative 12 plus 15, that equals 3. So he is 3 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage. Whoops. I think scrimmage is 2 M's. Is that true? Yes, scrimmage. Okay, one last one. If you want to pause me and give it a shot on your own, go for it. Leah owes her friend $7. Her friend forgives $3 of the debt. How much does Leah owe her friend now? Okay, so again, easy problem, but can you do a tile model, a chip model? Can you make an expression? Okay, so a couple of ways. Okay, we can do owes 7, and we're trying to find the difference of negative 3. So if we have 7 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we take away 3 negatives, we're left with 4 negatives. Okay, or maybe your brain sees it this way. I owe 7, and I give back 3. So here are 7 negatives, and here are 3 positives, and I've got 4 negatives left. So Leah still owes her friend $4. Okay. All right. So that concludes all of section 1. The next section, we're going to be getting into some multiplication. And then we're going to be forgetting about chips and tiles, and we're going to be cranking out using rules, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, integers, positives and negatives. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you